This is the Alkali Flat Trail here at White Sand Dunes National Park. There's actually trail markers, unlike the Great Sand Dunes where it's just like, you know, you'll figure it out, just go to that highest point. They have these little red trail markers planted in the sand dunes. See, you're not missing that. How's anybody gonna miss that trail marker? I'm just gonna go from one to the other, always assuming the next one is at least within visible sight. There are a lot of people out here, absolutely everywhere. I mean, makes sense. Sand dunes are an attractive thing to go see. People just kind of wandering. I've seen some people with sleds. The farthest or the longest hike, they let you get out into the sand dunes. This trail or this area, you know, general direction they want people to follow, very stomped out. So I can only imagine how many footprints have actually come through this way. Got my hand on one marker right here. I see 2, 3, 4. I see 4 more in front of me at least. I see 2 behind me. So these things, I mean, they're red, sticking out of the sand, white sand. How can you miss them? I'll look around here. Now I'm kind of secluded in this little dip dive here, and I gotta climb. Over one dune, down the other. Walking in the sand is the easiest thing going down. Going up, different story. 2 people way off over here. That looks pretty fresh. Some markings. People have gone out that way. 3 people over here. A few people over here. A few people way over there. At some point here, I'm gonna have to break off this trail so I can get pictures of untouched sand areas, because all these sloppy footprints left and right, it don't have me enthused to take pictures. Somebody really took their time to make a sand drawing right here. Will, heart, sky. Will loves Sky. Well, good for Sky. I hope for Will's sake, Sky loves her back. Looking around out here, there is not really a single sand dune that gets bigger than any other sand dune. They're all pretty much the same area. So this area right here, it all comes off like it's low enough to be the wash. So when it does storm or rain, this is where the rain kind of finds itself until it gets out. It's gonna be my biggest climb so far. It's weird because so many people have climbed sand dunes in specific ways that they've almost packed the sand down to more or less what looks like a trail. Like this right here. I'm going up a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a peak here. Can't really tell the difference between white sands and great sand dunes. Sand dunes always look super cool in contrast up against the mountains, so same vibe, that's all I'm getting at, which makes sense. So I kind of feel like I'm definitely closer to the edge of the sand dunes on this side, because those mountains are becoming very clear. I was trying to find a high spot here. One of the dunes this way really enthused me. You can see the entire loop at certain points, as you can make out where the people are and you can make out where some of the trail markers are. So it's not that spread out. I'm gonna march right up this steep incline. I'm gonna duck walk it. Just gotta keep the legs moving. When you stop, you lose momentum. That's when you're dead in the water. Get it. Legs burnt. You made it. Exhausted. White Sands National Park is actually next to a naval base where they've done missile testing. There are areas of this park that say either, hey, you're not going past this line, or be advised there's still unknown, undiscovered missiles that could detonate. So if you spot one of those, tell somebody as you leave the park, something along those lines. Very close beyond this point, stay on Alkali Flat Trail. Unexploded munitions, keep out. That unexploded munitions sign seemed to be what I feel like would be a halfway point. Looking off that way, assuming the same thing, there's probably unexploded munitions all the way over there, but there's no sign there. It's kind of like, hey, don't go over here, but it's not like we're gonna stop you because there's nobody out here. Do I go off to the side or do I go back into the middle? In the middle, looks like the dunes look better. So you have a trail coming this way, middle be that way. I don't know if you can make that out. 2023. Some pretty decent drop-offs. Obviously, Great Sand Dunes has bigger sand dunes. And on the note of the new year, I guess it'd be a good time, as everybody would, to somewhat reflect on 2022. Grateful to be in the position I was, to be able to do this. The entire year was spent on this ridiculous notion that I wanted to go travel the country and do something out of the ordinary. I mean, I don't know how many people have ever done this. It kind of got sparks of inspiration from people doing really wild shit. And somewhere in there I also found a couple in like 2015. They were able to do it. They got a bunch of promotions with brands and companies and did deals and made it work. And they did that back when there was like only like 50 some parks, maybe 57 or something. So like they've been adding parks since, but I'll get more into the whole story of this whole thing later. Right now I still got a few more parks to knock off, which is the fun thing about me starting in February. When people do New Year's resolutions, it's always the very beginning of the year. So I'm already breaking that construct that whatever I was doing needs to be done by that said date. Now I'm off the calendar year and I'm just working on whenever. Why do you need January 1st to be the time to start doing things when you can actually start doing things now? My weird launch kind of reinforced the idea that if you want to do something, just do it now. Jumping around sand dunes is fun. The perfect little hike today for me to reflect on this journey, where I'm at, where I'm going, who the fuck knows. If you like White Sands National Park, hit the like button. If you want to follow me to more national parks, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram for more of my landscape photography. Coming up next, Carlsbad Cabin.